everyone, I'm Georgia and this is The Sound of Georgia. Has Broadway run out of ideas? I feel like it's been quite a long time since I've heard about a truly original new musical coming out. But there seems to be no shortage of musicals coming out that are based on films. However, even though this trend, I guess, reminds me a lot of what Disney's doing now with their live-action remakes, I am not going to go into anything about how the musicals miss the point of the original or anything like that. I haven't seen nearly enough of these to be an authority on whether that's the case. Honestly, I don't even know whether I have enough authority on anything I say in this video to talk about it. So obviously there have been plenty of musicals based on films before. Mary Poppins, Aladdin, The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, and now with Frozen as well. Hey, look at that, they're all Disney movies. I mean, by and large, Disney movies are musicals, so they can lend themselves to the stage pretty well. And if they're popular enough, why not? So they're a little different. I'm talking about the musicals that are based on relatively popular non-musical movies. We're talking Clueless, we're talking Legally Blonde, we're talking Matilda, we're talking Muriel's Wedding, which I feel like has come back to Australia like twice in a very short span of time. And Mean Girls. I heard Devil Wears Prada's getting a musical. Shrek's coming to Australia next year. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Now, I might be a giant hypocrite. As I said, I really have no authority on this, because really the only two I've seen are Legally Blonde and Dirty Dancing, and I loved Legally Blonde. For a long time, it was my second favourite musical of all time, right behind Wicked. Now it's more like 5 or 6, but I still absolutely love it. And with Dirty Dancing, which is actually billed as the classic story on stage, I didn't really like it all that much. It was fine, but I definitely liked it considerably less than I liked the film. But Legally Blonde the musical is a lot closer to what I'm talking about today. Dirty Dancing was a much older film. Legally Blonde and the rest of them seem to be all musicals based off films that are fairly recent. Like Muriel's Wedding, Clueless and Matilda, the movies, came out in 1994, 1995 and 1996 respectively. And then the stage versions came out in 2016, 2018 and then 2011 for Matilda, again respectively. So as far as the films, we're going back sort of 25 years at the most. So in the grand scheme of things, pretty recent. It really does seem very Disney to me. Essentially remake a popular film so you know you'll have some sort of success. Now I'm not saying the shows are bad, but as far as selling tickets, that's irrelevant. People will go and see it because they have the nostalgia for the film. And I'm also not saying these films couldn't lend themselves perfectly well to stage musicals. Dirty Dancing is very much a stage musical story. So even though it was a film to stage adaptation, nothing about either of them would have to change at all if it had been a stage to screen adaptation. But while Dirty Dancing lends itself perfectly to the stage, I feel like some of them have to be pushing it. I feel like some of them are just being made into musicals because they know they'll be popular enough to sell tickets. I mean, Matilda, Mean Girls, I mean, when you see those films, if the first thing you think about is wanting to see a stage adaptation, but maybe it is just me. I certainly didn't have the nostalgia for Matilda that everybody else is. I really liked it as a kid, but I still didn't have the nostalgia for it, and now I think it's just okay. And as for Mean Girls, well, my hatred for that movie would probably be better left for another video. And I also understand that these musicals, despite their source materials, are still original musicals as far as the songs go. Except for Clueless. I think Clueless is a jukebox musical. But the rest of them are original, and I understand that that cannot be easy. And I also know that plenty, heck, I'd say most musicals are based on something else. I made a whole video about that, focusing specifically on Rodgers and Hammerstein a month ago, but I don't know. feels different. Feels more modern and more direct. And maybe I'm just noticing it more right now because of the direction Disney's taking. Because I can't help but compare them to Disney right now. As far as ideas go, it just seems a bit lazy, turning films into musicals by pretty much just adding music, just because there's already a connection. As much as I love Legally Blonde the musical, it changes very little story-wise. I guess what it comes down to is just that I'd like to hear about more original musicals, rather than just musicals based on cult classic films from the 90s and 2000s that are pretty much just the film with songs added. But who knows? Maybe I'm just missing them. Maybe, just like Disney, the original ones are sort of pushed to the side while the remakes steal the spotlight. And that's everything I've got for you today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what you think about this topic. And have you seen any musicals like this, and what did you think of them? And how did you feel about the movies they were based on? Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my video next week. So long, farewell!